Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to cover the best cards in NHL 21 at every position. The one thing before we get into this that I need to kind of describe and go over with you guys is this isn't a vacuum. So these cards, if you're going to buy them or you're in the market for these cards, you have to be I'm under the impression that you probably have a very, very good team. So you have distributor, you have Spark, and you probably have Swarm as well. That's really the assumption and how you have to base these cards. So it's, again, how these cards stack up against each other. I think that for everyone, it's going to be slightly different depending on the synergies you need, that kind of stuff. So that's how I try and keep it based on. So again, there's cards that, in my opinion, will be better because of their synergies, but I kind of try to eliminate the synergy thing and just assume that everyone has them. So that's it. Let's get into today's content, the best cards for every position. All right, we'll start things off with left-handed wingers. Coming in at number 4 is the 92 Jack Hughes that just came out. Obviously, this card fits the new NHL 21 meta extremely well. He's one of the fastest players in the game. He's got an elite wrist shot, and his hand stats are all basically mats. And then his defensive awareness and stick checking are perfect. Where he really lacks is in the defensive zone. That's really his deficiency. And then obviously with Spark and Distributor and Swarm even, he's basically 99 everything that's important. So a phenomenal card. The only knock is his size, and then his endurance is pretty low as well. But a phenomenal card, and still the number 4 left-handed winger. The one thing I will need to say is why not the 93? The 93s and those special cards for each event, they're just not really obtainable for the majority of players, even if you're HUT rich. So that's why I just do basically the 90, the first set of those master items. Obviously, the older ones, it's easier to get the max master item, but for most part, it is going to be the one that you can make and not just get out of packs and, be the max end one. So number 4 is Jack Hughes. Next up is the 92 primetime Connor McDavid. Now, before you guys instantly hit the comments, yes, the 90 with Distributor is better than this Connor McDavid. However, you have to assume that you have Distributor activated without this Connor McDavid card. So if you have this Connor McDavid card and Distributor on him, he's 98 speed. With Spark, he's 99 acceleration. His agility's max. His hand stats are all maxed. This is an incredible card. It's basically what Jack Hughes is, only with better endurance, and he's 6'1", not 5'11". So, McDavid cards all year have been one of the best, and this is no different. Phenomenal card all the way through. I would not recommend getting the 92 over the 90 or anything like that. I think even the 89 is still an elite card, but the 92 is technically the best when you eliminate all those outside factors. Next up, we've got the 93 Team of the Year, Leon Draisaitl, 6'2". And again, once everything is activated, including Workhorse, he's got basically 90 speed, 89 acceleration, as well as if you have Spark, that gets it over it. So again, that is pretty key. His shot is all, in the high 90s, and his hand stats are basically maxed. Defensively, he's basically maxed. The one thing I will say that I like over Connor McDavid is his size. And, obviously, the synergies do come into play here. He has a phenomenal synergy package, essentially. But 6'2", he is slower, but, man, his shot is perfect. And if you are someone who likes TOA and cycling in the zone, this card is one of the best. He just holds onto the puck very well with that 99 puck control and 98 balance. So, phenomenal card. He comes in at number 2. And then number 1 is the 93 Matthew Tkachuk. Now, again, the Draisaitl card is technically better because it will go up. Matthew Tkachuk is stuck at 93. That being said, Swarm, Wingman, and Howitzer is a great synergy combo because all 3 of those are useful. And then you add on the fact that Distributor will get it to 92 speed. Spark will get him over to 93 acceleration. His shot is literally maxed, essentially. Hand stats all above 95. Defensively, he's almost perfect. He's 6'2" with 96 body checking. This is just basically a little bit better of an improved version of the Team of the Year Leon Draisaitl. Now, again, like I said, once Draisaitl gets an upgrade, could be tomorrow, he will then be the better card. But as it stands right now, the 93 Matthew Tkachuk, phenomenal left-handed winger. In my opinion, the best in the game currently. Now let's move over to the right-handed wingers. We'll start at number 4 with the 91 David Pastrnak, the Team of the Year version. Swarm, Heart and Soul, and Howitzer. Obviously, Heart and Soul not going to be one that's used, but before Distributor, 93 speed, so 96 acceleration gets up to 94 with Spark. Defensively, with stick check and defensive awareness, he's perfect. His shot is in the mid-90s. Hand stats are all basically maxed as well. Phenomenal card. I love this card, and one of the best. He is you know, the only knock on him is that they're the top end right-handed cards are almost perfect. So don't overthink it. The 91 Pasternak, an incredible card, and will only get better. Coming in at number 3, finally knocked off his throne, in my opinion, is the 88 Guy Lafleur. It is still stunning to me that the 88 Bronze Guy Lafleur is still one of the best cards in the game. And when it comes to right-handed wingers, like I said, you really can't make him any better. So Swarm Speedster, obviously a good synergy combo, but then you add Distributor on him. He's max speed with Spark. His acceleration goes up over 95. His wrist shot is basically perfect. Defensively, as well as with Swarm activated, 90 stick checking, 92 defensive awareness. His only downfall is that he's only 6 foot with 81 body checking. But in terms of offensive wingers, this is the best, you know, just the perfect build for him. And when he gets his silver one, honestly, you don't even need to rush out to make his silver one because the bronze one is fine. Like, the important stats on winger cards, he's basically maxed out. So just a great card. And once you get, you know, Couturier as well as Lemieux made, the next one you should try and get is Guy Lafleur. So great card, and number 3 among right-handed wingers. Coming in at number 2 is the 91 Mario Lemieux. Still an incredible card. So he's 6'4". I play him at wing. You know, you can play this card at center as well with 87 on the draw, but I think that this is just a better winger. 97 speed, acceleration with Spark gets him up to 95. His shot is basically perfect at 96. Hand stats all maxed. And then defensive awareness at 92. Stick checking's a little low at 87. However, he's 6'4", 225. Just a great build all the way around, and still one of the best in the game. He checks in as the number 2 right-handed winger. And then number 1 is the new 93 Steven Stamkos. This card is incredible. So 6'1" with Spark, Shutdown, and Workhorse. And again, while Shutdown isn't one you're probably going to look to activate, there's so many top-end cards that have it. It's very easy to activate. Spark, obviously important. Workhorse is, again, right up there with all the other synergies in terms of player-based ones. Before, you know, it's acceleration getting to 99. Agility is basically max. Balance and endurance is fantastic once you have Shutdown and Workhorse activated. Then you combine the fact that, you know, 93 speed goes to 96, and then his slap shot's at 98. His wrist shot is 94 and 96. Hand stats all basically maxed. This is the prototype winger card. This is unbelievable, and you can technically play him at center with 86 faceoffs, but I wouldn't, because on the wing, he is perfect. So the number 1 best right-handed winger in the game is, again, from the new flashback set, as he's joining Matthew Tkachuk among the best in the game at his position. Moving on to centerman, we'll kick things off with the 90 Adam Oates, 5'11", 190, speedster, and barrage. So, again, 97 faceoffs. That makes you an elite centerman no matter what. Now, he's got 91 speed before distributor. His acceleration can up to 90. His shot is good at low 90 with the wrist shot power being 96. Hand stats all basically in the mid to high 90s. And then, you know, defensively, stick checking 90, 88 defensive awareness, and body checking 87. The only knock on him is he's a little bit smaller. But when you consider that his synergy plus his face-off rating, I use this card, and he is phenomenal for me. He comes in as the number 4 best centerman currently in NHL 21. Following in at number 3 is the 90 Joe Nieuwendyk with Spark and Gladiator. Now, Gladiator, you can't really depend on that being activated, but he has 2 to it, so it is pretty easy to get. However, when you combine the fact that his speed can get to 92, acceleration's 90, the fact that he's 6'2" with 96 faceoffs, so he's got that size, his shot is a little better than Oates, and then body checking at 90, just a better defensive, like what you want in a centerman. Oates is almost like a winger with unbelievable face-off rating, so that is why, in my opinion, Joe Nieuwendyk is slightly better, as he comes in as the number 3 centerman currently in the game. Coming in at number 2 is another 94 flashback card, the 93 Sidney Crosby. So with Speedster, 96 speed when distributor's on, acceleration can get up to 95, agility's perfect, and with Swarm, it's maxed. Then he's got good balance and endurance in terms of skating. Shot is all in the mid-90s. Hand stats are almost maxed across the board. 93 face-offs, and then stick-checking defensive awareness at 95. Body checking at 87, that isn't bad. Again, he is 5'11", so that is his one knock. However, the real advantage is if you get Thief activated, because if you get Thief activated, you know, his face-offs become 98, which makes this card infinitely more valuable because now you have a max centerman for basically the rest of the game. And he's fast. So just a really good combo. And again, yeah, he comes in as the number 2 centerman currently in the game. And then number 1, and let's be honest, he's probably going to be number 1 for the duration of the game. It's the 92 Sean Couturier. So he'll get an upgrade to 93 shortly for February. But again, 94 speed when you activate distributor. a 91 acceleration, agility's 94 before swarm, 6'3", 211 is a perfect center build. He's got 94 faceoffs, a good shot, body checking 95. You can't go wrong. It's why I constantly am telling you guys, you need to just make Sean Couturier do everything you can. He is the first focus. After Lemieux, I guess technically, because again, Lemieux I think is very easy to get and important. But yeah, man, Sean Couturier is absolutely a must on every team if you were trying to build, a competitive roster. All right, on to right-handed defenseman. Now, this is a very, very difficult thing to do, is ranking the right-handed defenseman, because there are so many defensemen at the top end of NHL 21 that are either huge and amazing defensively or fast and have great offensive ability. And the contrast is very, very big. And you're going to see here in the rankings. It's very difficult to rank these because, in my opinion, a big, gigantic defenseman that has 90 speed is the most important. However, there are people that like a guy that can just rip one-timers from the point and extremely fast that can defend the rush. So this is very, very difficult. This took like a long time going over the rankings with everyone in chat today to kind of come up with a determination, but let's go over it regardless. So the 92 Philippe Myers was 6'5", 210. Obviously that's end game size. With wingman and shutdown, both synergies that can be activated, that isn't out of the realm of possibility. Distributor gets him to 97 speed. Obviously his acceleration goes into the mid 90s with spark. Agility can be 99. However, his deking, and when you try an L2 with him at all, it's very sluggish and something that you do notice. But again, that's the contrast to having a 6'5" defenseman that has perfect body checking, perfect defensive stats, and a cannon with a 98 slapshot power. He's an incredible card, one of the best in the game. And again, his ability to deny zone entries because he's just so damn big with a very long stick, just extremely difficult and one of the best. He comes in as a number 3 right-handed defenseman. Number 2 is the 92 Cale Makar. And again, stark difference between him and Philippe Myers because, again, he's much smaller, but Cale Makar can absolutely burn. And that's even without synergies because the synergies aren't very good. I mean, obviously Barrage is, but it's just, it's a little bit difficult. It's not one that you should go for first. So 96 speed with distributor, acceleration gets up into the high 90s. His agility's already maxed. Hand stats are in the mid 90s. And the shot, 93 slap shot power with 90 accuracy. Body checking is high, though, at 89 as a 5'11" defenseman, which kind of saves that. And then stick checking at 95 and defensive awareness at 91 before team-based synergies. Just a fantastic card, and you notice him when you have the puck. He's extremely fast, just a phenomenal player all around, and he comes in as the number 2 right-handed defenseman. Then at number 1 is the 93 Dougie Hamilton. Now, I need to address this first. Again, in my rankings video that I did of all the master items for this event, I ranked Dougie Hamilton like number 6 last among all players. I need to explain that a little bit. It's his synergies that really hammer him down, but in a vacuum, when you look at everything, Dougie Hamilton as a base is basically a right-handed version of Victor Hedman, and that is one of the best cards, and even just player base, they all agree as well. So speed gets up to 92, acceleration 94 with synergies. His shot is amazing at 97 slap shot power, 91 accuracy. His hand stats are high. Defensive awareness is 94 and 94 for stick checking. He's 6'6". This is a phenomenal card. It's everything you want. The only knock is he's got brutal synergies. Like, it's just, these are all complementary, and they're not even the highest among complementary ones. Like, shutdown you could have, and that just kind of improves things that he's already got really high rated in. So, but nonetheless, he, in my opinion, is the number 1 right-handed defenseman in the game. Moving over to the left-handed defenseman, we've got the 91 Team of the Year, Victor Hedman. And again, this won't last for long because once he receives upgrades, he's going to shoot up the rankings. So Spark, shut down both synergies that you can get activated pretty easily. And then he's got 89 speed with Distributor. His shot is good. And then he's got max body checking and basically max defensive stats. And he's 6'6", 223. Anyone that uses him, again, it's the ability to deny zone entry that makes him so good. And in his own zone, you can't bump him off the puck. And even in the offensive zone, if you try to cycle with him, he doesn't lose the puck at all because he's got 97 puck control and great balance on a 6'6" frame. Just a phenomenal card all the way around. And if you got him when Team of the Year is out, good job, and enjoy it, as this is going to be one of the best the entire year all the way through. Coming in at number 2 is the 93 Oscar KLEFBOM. Distributor and workhorse, passing playmaker, you're probably not going to have activated. So 91 speed is the cap. Acceleration gets up to in the mid 90s. His shot is unbelievable. His hand stats are great. Defensively, he's perfect as well. Body checking 93. This is a great all around card. He's 6'4". That's amazing size. There's really no complaints here. Again, he's better than Hedman currently in the current stage just because he's a little bit better at skating. That will obviously change as Hedman improves, but there's no... If you make this card or buy him, you're not going to be disappointed. You have one of the best left-handed defensemen in the game, and he currently checks in at number 2. And then coming in at number 1 is the 93 Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And the reason why I have him at number 1 is just because his synergies that aren't capping anything. So acceleration 93 before spark means that he has almost perfect acceleration. Speed can get up to 94. His shot is great. Hand stats are perfect. Defensively, also perfect. That's why I think he slightly edges out Oscar KLEFBOM. He's 6'2", so that's a little bit less of the size factor when you compare the two. Either one, unbelievable cards. I have the OEL. I think he's phenomenal, and he is currently, in my opinion, the number 1 left-handed defenseman in the game. Lastly, let's rank the goaltenders. So in number 2, the second best goaltender in the game, the 92 Justus ANNUNEN. Again, this is not taking synergies into account. This is not a debate. The Vasilevsky is and will forever be in this game the best goaltender to have. And I really wouldn't recommend buying these other two or any of them because it costs so much money. But if you're hut rich and you have to know who the best goaltender is, here we go. So number 2 is the 92 Justus ANNUNEN. He's 6'4" and doesn't have any of the stat caps that taller goaltenders have. He's got a really low aggression, which is great, a good glove high, which is an awesome combo, and he's 6'4". Don't overthink it. This is, in my opinion, the second best goaltender in the game. He's going to be incredible, but again, goaltenders do not matter. If you give up a backdoor one-time or tap in, it doesn't matter if you have Patrick Waugh or Dominic Hasek in net. It's going to go in. So number 2, Justus ANNUNEN. And number 1, in my opinion, is the 93 Joonas KORPISALO. You see why I was so excited for this event. The new event literally has, in my opinion, 4 of the best position cards released. 5 actually, other than center, and center is number 2. So just a phenomenal event. But 6'3". The reason why I think he's slightly better than ANNUNEN is his aggression isn't super low. There is a point at which aggression is too low because you can get picked apart upstairs because your goaltender is just so far back in his crease. KORPISALO has, if you were to drop what the best goaltender stats were, this is it. If he was a little bit taller, he'd be overpowered. But again, he does not suffer from the stat caps for being 6'3". This is the best goaltender in the game on paper and how they react. And again, goaltender, not important. Don't overthink it, but this is the number 1 in my opinion. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And don't forget to subscribe for daily NHL content. I'll see you tomorrow.